Good morning, good rising, and welcome to Presence of Light with Charlie Bergeron. It's always a joy to be here with you. However, this morning, getting here was very interesting. So, today's topic is action or reaction. And it is very purposeful during this time, these times that we're going through. And for all of us, I think we're experiencing emotions and we're experiencing energies, which are energies in motion, that can be overwhelming and distracting. And we may find ourselves continually pulling ourselves back to center, whatever center is for each of us, because we're all unique. And good morning, Carrie. Good morning, Terry. At least all my technology is working this morning, which is an amazing feat in itself. So, yeah, today's topic is action and reaction, or action or reaction. I don't even remember the title. But what's important is that each of you come to understand on some level who you are and how you react during this time of extreme energies is really about showing up in the truth of who you are and as the truth of who you are. It's very important right now for us to really deepen into an inner part of ourselves that can't be disturbed or distorted. And this is what's coming through now. This is not in my show notes because I didn't have much time to write this morning. As a matter of fact, I was not going to appear at all this morning. That's how messy my morning has been. So, with all of that said, part of my journey this morning was coming out of a dream time where I was with friends that are deceased, dear friends that are deceased, and they were lost. And when I met them in the dream time, they didn't know who I was. I knew who they were. They knew each other, and that yet in the dream time, they didn't know each other, yet they were trying to figure out where they were and what was going on. And I felt the call to help them, knowing that they shouldn't be here, that somehow something shifted in the energy fields and they've got placed here on planet Earth again, and we're totally confused. So I spent my last dream time moments assisting them. And in the end, I left the dream time knowing that they were okay, that they would make their journey. They were unconscious of my awareness of them. Everything was going to be all right. But what was important was I took action. I took action from my heart to assist them in returning to a level of normalcy, whatever that is, for people who are deceased and show up in the dream time. I'm not an expert at that. When I woke up, I realized this is what we're going on, which is what's happening here right now for all of us. That as we embrace this blue full moon and the energies of the cross quarter segment of the sun, we have the holidays of Samhain, and we have the election here in the United States. And we have all of this confusion and all of this chaos that the whole world is watching. It's not just happening here in my little hometown of York, Maine. Around the world, all of you are watching this. All of you are caught up in the energy of this because it's become global due to the coronavirus and the focus and the name calling and the pointing the finger at you're responsible, and then everybody saying they're taking responsibility, yet nobody's becoming responsible. And that's exactly what my deceased friends in the dream time were experienced, was that energy field. That energy field that is scattered, that creates confusion, that destabilizes even those who are not in physical form. So I want to impress this upon all of you who listen to me, to realize that what you're going through right now emotionally, which is energy in motion, is you're not going crazy. You're not losing your ability to focus. You're not losing your inner strength to rise up and act in a positive manner, not only for yourself, but for the good of the whole world. You haven't lost that. But the energies will make you feel like that. And I empathize with each of you because I don't know what your personal life situations are, but I know the range that it can take, because I've lived in most of those states of being as a human. I've been homeless. I've been hungry. I've been an alcoholic. I've been molested. I've, lost my family. There is nothing life can do to me now. I mean, I even died and came back. Nothing life can do to me now that I can't say that I survived. I made it through. And making it through all of this, the important message that I have to say to everyone is you will make it through. You will make it through all of this that is disturbing you. And you will make it through because that's why you're here. Part of why you're here is you have the power and the energy within you that is stronger and more powerful than the energy outside of you. That may sound crazy. That may sound impossible. But I'm here to seed that thought in you and to send some light and love to that thought in you, to encourage you to not move into deep fear, no matter what happens, no matter what you experience. Keep your hearts open. Know that there will be fear arising. Know that there will be things that are not very nice going on in the world. But know that you, each one of you, as I speak to you this morning, your energy and how you manage it is very important. I'm going to take a deep breath because what's happening is all of the energy in this energy field is being recorded, just like this talk is being recorded. And it's being recorded in the crystalline memory of planet Earth. Okay? And what we do and how we respond to what's happening is being recorded so that at some point in the future humans will look back and understand what we have gone through for them. And yet, at the time, we thought it was all about us. As I say this, I have ancestors going way back to the beginning of human recording here on planet Earth that are saying, yes, Charlie, remember us. Remember what we went through for you to be here. Remember all that has transpired on planet Earth, both to Mother Earth herself and humanity, has not been separate from each other. Gaia and humanity have been together always. We are part of each other. No Gaia, no humanity. No humanity. Gaia will exist, but will not be Gaia as we know her. So, action or reaction? This is our choice in all of these energies. This is the choice that we make. Do we act in accordance with our heart, or do we react to what is being sent to our heart to shut it down? It's real simple. As I saw it this morning, it was real simple. There's only one real choice, and it's to take an action. And the action doesn't have to be dramatic. It doesn't have to be, we have to go to war. It doesn't have to be defensive. It doesn't have to be aggressive. That action is to stay in our hearts, to keep our hearts open, to know that in that process, yes, we may suffer a lot of different things. And some of us may experience ecstatic energy just as well. What's important now is that we stay in a mode of action. This is the card for action. When I was lost about what I was going to talk about, I pulled the card, the Sacred Meditation card. And this is the Orion Nebula. Pillars of gas, stars, looks like they're exploding, yet they are gathering together. Isn't that like us? Exploding, yet gathering together. One whole, one galaxy. We are like a galaxy. Humanity is very much like a galaxy. And that was the message this morning. The card reads, I know Source has given me intuition and divine guidance. I act for my good and the good of others. I want to say that again. When we're talking about action or reaction, let it be for the good of ourselves and for the good of others. Deepen into that. Know that no matter what happens throughout our timeline, we are not powerless if we keep our hearts open. And everything that's happening in the world around us right now has the force that seems to be compressing our hearts. And when our hearts become compressed, that energy triggers the mind into chaos. And it doesn't matter whether it's intentional or natural. The moment right now is for all of us to show up and say, I am. Those two words, I am. One more time, I am. Nothing before it, nothing after it. I am. And when things get really rough, I want you to say those two words to yourself. I am. Let go of anything of your understanding of those two words. I am. And just sit in that space. And watch. Be in that stillness and watch what comes. And realize that if you can watch it coming, or you can see it rising within you, you are not it. It's very important now for us to access our full power and potential. And that full power and potential is within us. It's not outside of us. And that even if what's outside of us is larger and more frightening than we've ever experienced before, it's our time to rise to meet it. The affirmations for this card are, I take charge of my life. I do not worry about the future. When I see an injustice, I will act on it if it is for everyone's highest good and extend a hand to help others. When action is required, I will respond with help from Source. I know the Creator has provided me with all I need. Today, I will create a paradise in my life. So as I look out the window, and it's not even November, and we have snow here on the coast of Maine, which is unusual. As I have the energetic memories of my chaos and confusion of my dream, I know I'm here fulfilling my purpose of speaking to the world on Friday mornings. Knowing that in my state of confusion an hour ago, how I was quick to judge things, I was feeling anger, I was feeling frustration, I was feeling aloneness in my human mind, right here in this brain. All of those energies outside of me affected these two halves of the brain. And they were at war. They were at war with each other. Yet when I came back into that I am, that singularity, where we all come from, that singularity, everything calmed down. Everything calmed down, and I realized that I'm never alone. It's not always my problem. It's also not my job to be totally in charge of correcting it. But I need to take an action, not be in a state of reaction. Because if I'm in a state of reaction, I'm being manipulated by the action that's making me react. The action outside of me is in charge. I'm no longer in charge. I am no longer a sovereign being in service to itself and other sovereign beings. I am being manipulated by an energy force outside of me. And this is what's happening right now around the world. And all I can say to each of you is to be the action in your life rather than the reaction. That's what's coming through. Those are not my show notes. I didn't have time to write show notes, except a few. That's from my heart to yours. When I look, scroll, and see each of you here, I bless you. I send you blessings. I send you good mornings. I send you good afternoons, good evenings. I send you love. For those whose heart is broken, I want you to know that you can fix it, because it doesn't need fixing, and it's not broken. It's in perfect order. All you need to do is come back into it and live your life from it. Not expecting somebody else to make your heart beat. Not to rely on what's outside of you. Not be the reaction, but be the action. Be the love that you are. And even if no one responds to that, What's most important is that we love. We love because we are love. We are the change. As of here, we have here and stay have chosen because we are the change. Yes, Dave, we are the change. This is the change that's being called for right now. The change is within us. The change will always happen around us, but it's how we act from within us rather than reacting to something outside of us. When we act from our hearts, we are sovereign. When we react to something else, we're just responding. We're responders. We're not whole. We're not complete. We're being moved by something outside of us. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen. The key is not to forget who we are, the powerful beings of creation. Everything you see in this world has been created. Some of it has been created in a natural order in alignment with that which we call sovereign being, God, whatever you want to look as creator. All the stories say we were created in that image. All of us are creators in our truest essence. If you look at these computers, what we talk with, we write with, we created it. The humans created that. Look how powerful we are. We've created the ability to destroy a planet in the universe. Not a pleasant thought, but that's how powerful we are. And if we can create that much power, what would it be like if we flipped it? Instead of being destructive, we were co-creative with planet Earth. What if instead of trying to rape, plunder, and pillage the planet and each other, we made that shift in consciousness to act from love rather than react to fear. Think about those things. Sometimes the best action is silence, not to let the chaos take over, not to get drawn into the drama. Beautiful. Sometimes that's exactly what we have to do. We have to become the observer, not the actor. And then come back and say, how am I going to act now? It's good to speak from your heart. You watch me, you listen to me, it all comes from my heart. The brain is the one that gets confused and tries to figure out how it's going to say it. But when I speak from my heart, it just flows. There's nothing else. There's no interference from the mind. Christy says, thank you. Exactly where I was this week. Outside got me and I tried to shut down. Anxiety took over and I had to put the pieces back and remember who I am. Christy, thank you. Thank you for speaking. Because everybody is listening now. We all have our attention focused on what's going to happen to the future. The other day, I heard someone say that, and they were using a percentage, and I'm not going into the numbers because those are really irrelevant, but many of the children fear they will have no future. Many children fear they will have no future. And when we look, as I said earlier, to our ancestors, many of them also experienced trauma and war and devastation and hunger and disease. And as children, they also felt there was no future. And yet here we are in their future, looking forward towards a future for our children and our children's children. And we have this opportunity to change everything so that it benefits the future generations, rather than leaving them in a state of despair. So my talk this morning comes from the past, those who are no longer here in physicality. I know obviously showed up in my dream time to express to me the confusion that they experience coming back in here. They're lost. Nothing's recognizable. And some of them didn't pass away that long ago. Short periods of time, so much change has taken place that they can't understand, and they are lost. This is why right now we individually have to look into our hearts and figure out what is our action going to be. And my last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull this. It's a Kuan Yin Oracle card. I asked which deck. It was either Angel Blessings or Kuan Yin Oracle deck. And Kuan Yin is one, and it's the Amaryllis Lute. And I'll look that up and we'll read what the Amaryllis Lute has to say, what Kuan Yin has to say. That's 34. My eyes are going bad too. Never lose your sense of humor. Number 34. The Amaryllis Lute from the Kuan Yin Oracle deck. I love you, Kuan Yin, blessed sister. I love you. You have won a victory, beloved, a victory over the past. And the Amaryllis Lute is sounding through every cell of your being, heralding your rising vibration as you leave fear behind you once again. In fact, the lute says you are growing fast and spiritually. You are outgrowing your old life even more so. When your vibration changes, so too does your life, beloved. This is natural. It is safe and loving for you to release that which no longer feels right for you, no matter how much it was important in your old life. It might not have been the same place. It might not have the same place in your new life. There are no random acts. The pulling of this card, my dream this morning, this card, action, they're not random happenstance choices. They're all choices guided from within my heart and your heart. My heart to be willing and open to receive, and now your heart being willing to open and receive. You're not alone. What you're feeling and experiencing, we are all feeling and experiencing. And it's not what we are feeling and experiencing that's the issue. It's what are we going to do about it? What are we choosing? What are we choosing in all of this? Because our choices are not just in singularity for us individually, for this generation. It's for all humanity, for all time. You are a very important person. And I leave you with that. And I leave you with peace and light and love. That has been flowing through me for 29 years now, like a river that flows faster than the river that I passed on my way out. We are one whole humanity, and we need to think and act and be one whole humanity. Thank you, Humanity Healing, for this space to share with each of you. Thank you all for showing up. Whatever you take away from this is yours to work with. I love you. I thank you. I respect you. I am you. You are me. We are unity. As we gather at this time of year with our ancestors, to remember who we truly are, and our power, the power of our hearts. May you all have a good week. I know here in the United States, it's going to be one filled with a lot of energy. And around the world, as you watch what is happening here in the United States, send us your love. We need you. We need you because our fingerprint is in your land as well. Our ancestors are your ancestors. We all, other than those indigenous to North America, all were indigenous somewhere around the world. And I'm just feeling them all standing behind me saying, sing it, Charlie, sing it out. We are with you. Your ancestors are with you. And they didn't want war, and they didn't want hatred, and they didn't want to starve, and they didn't want to be moved out of their homes. And they didn't want to be ruled by people who acted like barbarians. They wanted to love their children, and they wanted to live in peace. Thank you. May your week be filled with power, the power of your heart. Until next Friday, Jolly Riverman saying thank you for this opportunity to share with you. And thank you for the blessings, and may they return, all your blessings return to you tenfold. Until next Friday, I love you. And as always, I'll try to figure out how to get out of here. All right, it's like a little world I go in. Bless you all. Keep smiling. And yeah, just be who you really are right here in your heart.